Did you hear about the woman whose relationship is so good, so effortlessly reciprocal that it makes you take a step back and realize this is what it should feel like. This woman's story is one of those stories, a story about love and the kind of relationship where care isn't begged for, it's given freely, and let me tell you, that's rare. But it shouldn't be. Picture this: you're standing at the base of a ski slope, your, her words, out of shape, barely managing to stay upright, and every fiber in your legs is screaming before you even make it halfway up the lift. Meanwhile, your husband, he's the type who runs marathons for fun, who zips down double black diamonds like it's second nature. He could be halfway down the mountain by now, but instead, he's right there with you. That was the reality for this woman who promised her ultra fit husband should go skiing with him just once this season. And when the day finally came, she quickly realized just how not built for this she was. She stayed on the easiest slope, struggling, sweating, legs burning just from taking the lift. She could barely make it down once before needing a break. She felt, her words, pathetic. And yet, through all of it, her husband never rushed her, never made her feel like a burden, never told her to push through. Instead, he met her exactly where she was. He carried her skis, he walked her back to the cottage. He told her how proud he was of her effort, how happy he was that she even tried. And when she could barely even stand at the end of the day, he cooked for her. He made her dinner because that's what love in action looks like. This relationship is an outlier, but it shouldn't be, because this is the kind of relationship that when you hear about makes you smile. It makes you think, wow, that's beautiful. But let's also be honest, stories like this stand out because they're not the norm. And that's the real issue. Women are so used to being the ones making the effort, doing the caretaking, ensuring their partner's comfort. That when a man steps up, meets them where they are, and offers that same care back, it feels exceptional. But let's call it what it is: it's baseline human decency. Love isn't about grand gestures or anniversaries, Valentine's Day. It's about showing up day in, day out for the person you chose. And in a world that constantly tells women to shrink, to serve, to be grateful for whatever effort they're given, this kind of love is an antidote. So let's try this from a perspective that makes your womanhood unbound. If your relationship doesn't look like this, why not? If the care you give isn't the care you receive, why not? A relationship where you have to beg for consideration, for support, beg for appreciation, that's not a relationship. It's an obligation masquerading as love. Love is not about keeping score, but it is about balance. If you are always the one pouring, always the one adjusting, always the one making space, who's doing that for you? This woman doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day because, in her words, every day with him feels like Valentine's Day. And that's not because he's buying gifts or planning elaborate surprises, it's because he's consistent. Because she is loved in a way that doesn't need to be scheduled, only sustained. Life's too short to wait for someone to not be loved right if you're already in a relationship. Build your peace, claim your power, set your boundaries, and reclaim your joy, because softness and strength do coexist in you and can thrive if you let them, because you can always redefine womanhood and joy on your terms. Till next time. But in the meantime, do you believe reciprocity in relationships is rare, or do you experience it? Let me know in the comments.